Welcome, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters, to HD Rare Coins 111. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of United States coins, exploring every dime, nickel, quarter, half dollar, and dollar that has shaped America's history. From the gleaming silver of early classics to the rarest modern treasures hiding in plain sight, we're uncovering the stories, secrets, and hidden values behind every coin. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your coin journey, get ready to be amazed, because here at HD Rare Coins 111, every coin has a story, and every story could be worth a fortune. Stick around, because you won't want to miss a single sparkle of this incredible coin adventure. Top 1. Today we are traveling back to a powerful moment in American history, a time when the entire nation was shaped by sacrifice, hope, and determination. The United States of America Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny from 1944 is far more than a small copper coin. It is a silent witness to World War II, a symbol of resilience, and one of the most talked about pennies among collectors around the world. If you love coins, history, and hidden value, listen very carefully, because this story is truly unforgettable. The year 1944 was a turning point for the United States. The country was deeply involved in the war. Factories were running day and night, and every resource mattered. Copper was critical for ammunition and military equipment, and even coins were affected by wartime demands. Just 1 year earlier, the famous steel pennies of 1943 had been produced to save copper. By 1944, the mint returned to making pennies from a copper alloy, but this copper itself carried a wartime story, as much of it came from recycled military shell casings. That alone makes the 1944 wheat penny incredibly meaningful. The design of the 1944 wheat penny connects emotion with history. On the front, Abraham Lincoln appears strong and thoughtful, a reminder of unity during one of the nation's most challenging eras. Lincoln had already become a symbol of perseverance, and during wartime America, his image carried even deeper meaning. On the reverse, the two wheat stalks frame the words that represent national values, reminding Americans of growth, endurance, and shared purpose. At first glance, millions of 1944 wheat pennies may seem common, but collectors know that rarity often hides beneath the surface. What makes this coin truly legendary are the rare varieties and mint errors that occurred during a chaotic production period. When mints operate under pressure, mistakes happen, and those mistakes create some of the most valuable coins in American numismatics. One of the most famous and valuable errors associated with the 1944 wheat penny is the accidental striking on steel planchets. A very small number of leftover steel blanks from 1943 were mistakenly used in 1944. These coins look completely different, with a silver-gray appearance instead of the usual copper color. These are among the most desired pennies in the world, and their existence has fascinated collectors for decades. Another important rarity involves mint marks. The 1944 wheat penny was produced at multiple mints, and collectors carefully study differences in strike quality and detail. Some coins show weak strikes, while others display exceptional sharpness. These differences help determine which coins stand out and which ones blend into the background of history. Double die errors are also a major attraction for collectors of the 1944 wheat penny. These errors occur when the die used to strike the coin receives a misaligned impression during its creation. The result is visible doubling in the date, lettering, or Lincoln's features. True double die pennies are rare and highly prized, especially when the doubling is strong and easy to see. Planchet errors add another layer of mystery to this coin. Some 1944 pennies were struck on improperly prepared blanks, leading to unusual thickness, surface flaws, or weight differences. These errors give collectors a glimpse into the behind-the-scenes process of wartime minting, where speed and necessity sometimes took priority over perfection. Condition plays a massive role in the value of the 1944 wheat penny. While many were heavily circulated and worn down through years of use, a small number survived in remarkable condition. Coins with original luster, sharp details, and minimal wear are far scarcer than most people realize. High-grade examples are especially sought after because they preserve the coin exactly as it appeared when it left the mint during wartime America. What makes collecting the 1944 wheat penny so exciting is the emotional connection it carries. This is not just a coin, it is a piece of lived history. It may have passed through the hands of factory workers, soldiers' families, or everyday Americans supporting the war effort at home. Every scratch and every mark tells a story that can never be fully known, yet can still be deeply felt. For coin lovers, this penny represents the perfect blend of history, rarity, and possibility. Many people still find 1944 wheat pennies in old collections, inherited boxes, and forgotten jars. The idea that an incredibly rare variety could still be waiting to be discovered keeps collectors searching with hope and excitement. Listening carefully to stories like this changes the way you look at a single cent forever. What once seemed small and ordinary becomes powerful and meaningful. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny proves that coins are not just money, but storytellers made of metal, carrying the weight of an entire nation's past. In today's real market and auction history, the most exceptional and rare examples of the 1944 Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny have reached values of $1 million. If you have wheat pennies or believe you may own something special, comment about your own coins so the channel can provide information about them. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment below, and like the video to support more deep and exciting coin stories that bring hidden American treasures to life. Top 2. We are stepping into a quiet but meaningful chapter of American history, a moment just after the storm of war had passed and the nation was learning how to breathe again. The United States of America Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny from 1946 is a coin that often hides in plain sight, yet it carries a powerful story of recovery, hope, and transition. This penny may look simple, but once you truly listen to its story, it becomes impossible to ignore. The year 1946 marked the first full year after World War II had ended. Soldiers were returning home, factories were shifting back to peacetime production, and everyday life was slowly finding its rhythm again. Coins like the Lincoln Wheat Penny were once again being struck in large numbers to support a growing economy. But even in this calmer period, the minting process still carried the pressure of rebuilding, and that pressure gave birth to coins that collectors carefully search for today. On the front of the 1946 wheat penny, Abraham Lincoln appears calm and dignified, a symbol of unity and endurance. His image had guided the nation through difficult times, and in 1946, it stood as a reminder of strength after sacrifice. The portrait itself is rich with detail, and collectors closely study Lincoln's hair, facial features, and lettering to determine how well the coin was struck. Even small differences can mean the difference between a common penny and a highly desirable one. The reverse design, with its 2 wheat stalks, feels especially appropriate for this moment in history. Wheat symbolizes growth, renewal, and nourishment, all ideas that resonated deeply with Americans rebuilding their lives after war. This design would soon disappear just a few years later, making the 1946 wheat penny part of the final chapter of an iconic era in U.S. coinage. What makes the 1946 wheat penny truly exciting for collectors is the world of varieties and mint errors hidden within its production. Although millions were struck, not all were created equally. Minting equipment was heavily used, and dies were pushed hard to meet demand. As a result, mistakes happened, and those mistakes are now prized by collectors who understand their importance. One of the most sought-after varieties involves double die errors. These occur when the die used to strike the coin receives more than one misaligned impression during its creation. On certain 1946 wheat pennies, collectors can spot doubling in the date, the word liberty, or the motto. True double dies show clear separation and depth, not flat or worn-looking letters. Finding one of these is like discovering a secret message left behind by the mint. Another fascinating category includes repunched mint marks. During this period, mint marks were added to dies by hand. Sometimes the punch was applied more than once or at a slightly different angle, creating overlapping or doubled mint marks. These small details require careful observation, but collectors love them because they represent a human touch in the minting process. Die cracks and die breaks are also commonly found on 1946 wheat pennies. As dies aged and weakened, fine cracks formed and appeared on the struck coins as raised lines. In more dramatic cases, pieces of the die broke away entirely, creating raised blobs known as cuts. Each of these errors is unique, and they offer a physical record of the stress placed on minting tools during America's post-war recovery. Planchet errors add yet another layer of intrigue. Some pennies were struck on improperly prepared blanks, resulting in surface flaws, unusual textures, or weight differences. These coins stand out immediately to experienced collectors and provide insight into the behind-the-scenes challenges faced by the mint during this transitional year. Condition is one of the most important factors in determining the value of a 1946 wheat penny. While many were heavily circulated and worn down through decades of use, a small number survived in remarkable condition. Coins with strong original luster, clean surfaces, and sharp details are far scarcer than most people realize. High-grade examples preserve the look and feel of the coin exactly as it appeared when it left the mint in 1946. What makes collecting this penny so enjoyable is the emotional connection it creates. This is a coin that lived through a time of rebuilding. It may have been used by families starting fresh, businesses reopening, or communities growing again. Holding a 1946 wheat penny is like holding a quiet witness to a nation healing itself. For coin lovers, the excitement lies in the possibility that something extraordinary could still be found. Many 1946 wheat pennies remain tucked away in old jars, inherited collections, and forgotten boxes. The idea that a rare error or high-grade example might still be waiting keeps collectors searching with patience and passion. Listening carefully to stories like this changes how you see even the smallest coin. A single cent becomes a bridge between generations, carrying memories of struggle, recovery, and hope. The 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny reminds us that history does not always shout. Sometimes it speaks softly, through copper and time. In today's real market and auction history, the most exceptional and rare examples of the 1946 Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny have achieved values of $200,000. If you have wheat pennies or believe you may own something special, comment about your own coins so the channel can provide information about them. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and like the video so we can continue sharing powerful and fascinating stories hidden inside America's most unforgettable coins. Top 3. We are opening a small copper door into a world that many people pass by without ever realizing what it represents. The United States of America Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny from 1948 is a coin that belongs to a generation rebuilding its dreams. It may look quiet, simple, and familiar, but once you slow down and truly listen to its story, this penny begins to speak with a powerful voice. This is a coin every collector should understand deeply, because its value is not only measured in money, but in history, rarity, and emotion. The year 1948 was a time of rebuilding and renewal in America. The shadows of World War II were slowly fading, families were settling back into normal life, industries were growing, and hope was returning to everyday routines. Coins like the Lincoln Wheat Penny were part of daily life again, moving through shops, factories, and homes. Every penny had a job to do, and every penny carried the spirit of a nation moving forward. On the front of the 1948 wheat penny, Abraham Lincoln appears calm and determined. His image had guided the nation through its most difficult trials, and even years after the war, his presence on the coin symbolized unity and strength. Collectors study Lincoln's portrait carefully, examining the sharpness of his hair, the clarity of his profile, and the strength of the lettering. These details matter greatly, because they help determine whether a coin is ordinary or something special. The reverse design with 2 wheat stalks feels especially meaningful in 1948. Wheat represents growth, nourishment, and prosperity, all things Americans were striving for in the post-war years. This design was nearing the end of its long run, making coins from this period part of the final chapter of the iconic wheat penny era. Collectors often feel a special connection to these later wheat cents because they represent the closing moments of a classic American design. What truly excites collectors about the 1948 wheat penny is the hidden world of varieties and mint errors. Even though millions were struck, not every coin was perfect. The minting process relied on heavily used equipment, and small mistakes happened more often than people realize. These mistakes are what turn a simple penny into a collector's prize. One of the most desirable features collectors search for is the double die error. On certain 1948 wheat pennies, doubling can be seen in the date, the word liberty, or the motto. This type of error occurs during the creation of the die itself and results in clearly separated letters or numbers. True double dies are rare and highly prized, especially when the doubling is strong and visible without heavy magnification. Another fascinating variety involves repunched mint marks. During this time, mint marks were added to the die by hand. Sometimes the punch was applied more than once, leaving overlapping or doubled mint marks. These small details may seem minor to the untrained eye, but to collectors, they represent craftsmanship, human involvement, and uniqueness that machines alone cannot create. Die cracks and die breaks are also commonly found on 1948 wheat pennies. As dies wore out, fine cracks formed and transferred onto the coins as raised lines. In more dramatic cases, pieces of the die broke away completely, creating raised areas known as cuts. Each of these errors tells a story of stress, wear, and relentless production as America's economy expanded. Planchet errors add even more mystery. Some 1948 pennies were struck on improperly prepared blanks, resulting in unusual surfaces, weight differences, or texture flaws. These coins stand out immediately to experienced collectors and provide a rare glimpse into the behind-the-scenes challenges of post-war coin production. Condition is one of the most powerful factors influencing the value of a 1948 wheat penny. While many were heavily circulated and worn down through decades of use, a small number survived in exceptional condition. Coins with strong original luster, clean surfaces, and sharp details are far rarer than most people expect. High-grade examples preserve the look of the coin exactly as it appeared when it left the mint in 1948, making them especially desirable. What makes collecting this penny so special is the emotional connection it carries. This coin lived through a time when families were rebuilding, businesses were expanding, and communities were growing again. It may have been used to buy bread, save change, or teach children the value of money. Every 1948 wheat penny carries untold personal stories within its copper surface. For coin lovers, the excitement lies in the hunt. Many 1948 wheat pennies are still hiding in old collections, inherited jars, and forgotten boxes. The possibility that a rare error or high-grade coin could still be waiting keeps collectors searching carefully and listening closely to stories like this one. Once you truly understand the 1948 Lincoln Wheat Penny, you never look at a single cent the same way again. What once felt ordinary becomes meaningful. This coin proves that history can live quietly in your hand, waiting for someone curious enough to appreciate it. In today's real market and auction history, the finest and rarest examples of the 1948 Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny have reached values of $300,000. If you have wheat pennies or think you may own something special, comment about your own coins so the channel can provide information about them. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, comment your thoughts, and like the video so we can continue sharing deep, powerful, and fascinating stories hidden inside America's most unforgettable coins. Top 4. We are stepping into the opening moments of a brand new decade, a time when America was full of confidence, growth, and quiet ambition. The United States of America Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny from 1950 may appear simple at first glance, but this small copper coin carries the weight of transition, tradition, and hidden rarity. If you are a true coin lover, listen very carefully, because this penny has stories that most people never hear. The year 1950 marked a turning point for the nation. World War II was now part of memory, families were settling into new routines, cities were expanding, and optimism filled everyday life. Money flowed through hands more than ever, and the Lincoln Wheat Penny remained a trusted companion in daily transactions. Every shop, every pocket, and every kitchen drawer seemed to hold a few of these pennies, yet very few people stopped to truly look at them. On the front of the 1950 wheat penny, Abraham Lincoln stands quietly but powerfully. His portrait had guided the country through hardship and recovery, and by 1950, his image symbolized stability and unity. Collectors examine Lincoln's face closely, studying the sharpness of his hair, the depth of his profile, and the clarity of the lettering. These details are not small to collectors, because they reveal how carefully the coin was struck and how well it has survived over time. The reverse design, with its iconic wheat stalks, feels especially meaningful in this era. Wheat represents growth, prosperity, and nourishment, themes that perfectly matched America's mood in 1950. This design was nearing the end of its long and beloved run, making late wheat pennies like this one especially attractive to collectors who appreciate closing chapters in coin history. What truly makes the 1950 wheat penny fascinating is the hidden world of varieties and mint errors that exist beneath its ordinary appearance. Millions were struck, but not all were created equal. Minting equipment was heavily used to meet demand, and when machines and human hands work at such speed, mistakes are inevitable. These mistakes are now treasures. One of the most exciting features collectors search for is the double die error. On certain 1950 wheat pennies, doubling can appear in the date, the word liberty, or the motto. This type of error occurs during the creation of the die and results in clear, separated lettering or numbers. True double dies are rare and highly valuable, especially when the doubling is strong and easily visible. Repunched mint marks are another area of strong collector interest. During this time, mint marks were applied to dies by hand. Sometimes the punch was applied more than once, leaving overlapping or doubled impressions. These small details tell a story of human involvement in the minting process, making each coin feel more personal and unique. Die cracks and die breaks also appear on some 1950 wheat pennies. As dies aged and weakened, fine cracks formed and transferred onto the coin as raised lines. In more dramatic cases, pieces of the die broke away entirely, creating raised blobs known as cuts. Each of these errors is one of a kind, a frozen moment of stress inside the mint. Planchet errors add even more intrigue. Some pennies were struck on improperly prepared blanks, resulting in unusual textures, surface flaws, or weight differences. These coins immediately stand out to experienced collectors and offer a behind-the-scenes look at the challenges of mass production during a booming economy. Condition is one of the most powerful factors influencing the value of a 1950 wheat penny. While countless examples were heavily circulated and worn down through years of use, a small number survived in remarkable condition. Coins with strong original luster, clean surfaces, and sharp details are far rarer than most people imagine. High-grade examples preserve the coin exactly as it appeared when it left the mint at the dawn of the 1950s. What makes collecting this penny so enjoyable is the emotional connection it creates. This coin lived through a time of growth and optimism. It may have been used by families building new lives, children learning to save, or businesses expanding into new neighborhoods. Every 1950 wheat penny carries quiet stories that will never be written down, yet still live within the copper. For coin lovers, the excitement lies in the possibility of discovery. Many 1950 wheat pennies are still tucked away in old jars, inherited collections, and forgotten boxes. The thought that a rare error or high-grade coin could still be waiting keeps collectors searching carefully and listening closely to stories like this one. Once you truly understand the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny, you never look at a single cent the same way again. What once seemed ordinary becomes meaningful. This coin reminds us that history often hides in plain sight, waiting patiently for someone curious enough to appreciate it. In today's real market and auction history, the most exceptional and rare examples of the 1950 Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny have achieved values of $400,000. If you have wheat pennies or believe you may own something special, comment about your own coins so the channel can provide information about them. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and like the video so we can continue sharing powerful and fascinating stories hidden inside America's most unforgettable coins. Top 5. We are stepping into the quiet yet remarkable story of a coin that has been part of American life for decades. The United States of America Lincoln 1-cent wheat penny from 1951 is more than just a small piece of copper. It is a witness to a post-war nation, a symbol of growth and stability, and a treasure trove for collectors who understand how much history and rarity can be hidden in a single cent. If you love coins and history, pay close attention, because this penny has a story you won't want to miss. The year 1951 was a period of transition for the United States. World War II had ended 6 years earlier, but its impact was still felt across the country. Families were rebuilding, cities were growing, and businesses were expanding. The nation was moving forward with confidence and purpose. Coins like the Lincoln Wheat Penny were central to daily life. They changed hands countless times, used for everything from small purchases to savings jars, quietly linking millions of Americans to the nation's economy and history. The obverse of the 1951 wheat penny features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln. His calm, determined expression has guided the nation through both turmoil and triumph. In 1951, Lincoln's image was more than just a portrait, it was a symbol of unity, perseverance, and the enduring values of the United States. Collectors pay close attention to the details of Lincoln's face, hair, and the sharpness of the date and lettering. Small differences in strike quality and detail can transform an ordinary coin into one that commands serious attention. On the reverse, the iconic wheat ears frame the value and motto of the penny. Wheat has always been a symbol of growth, nourishment, and prosperity, which made the design particularly meaningful in this post-war era. These coins were among the last of the Wheat Penny series, making them historically significant and highly collectible. Collectors appreciate the balance between artistry and symbolism that this coin embodies, which is one reason why it remains a favorite among coin enthusiasts today. The 1951 Wheat Penny is not only interesting for its design, but also for the minting varieties and errors that exist within the series. While millions were produced, not all coins were identical. Production processes, human oversight, and equipment were created opportunities for rare and valuable mistakes that collectors prize. One of the most sought-after varieties is the double die error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin receives multiple impressions that are slightly misaligned. On certain 1951 pennies, doubling can appear in the date, the word liberty, or the motto. True double dies are rare and highly valuable because the effect is permanent and cannot be duplicated. Collectors often search meticulously for these errors, knowing that even a subtle double die can dramatically increase a coin's value. Repunched mint marks are another fascinating aspect of the 1951 Wheat Penny. The mint marks, applied by hand during this period, were sometimes punched more than once, leaving overlapping or doubled impressions. These variations are small, but they carry a story of human involvement and provide a unique fingerprint for each coin. For serious collectors, identifying a repunched mint mark can be the difference between owning a standard penny and owning a true collectible. Die cracks and die breaks also appear on some 1951 pennies. As dies were under intense pressure, cracks form that appear as raised lines on the coin's surface. In more dramatic cases, parts of the die can break away entirely, creating raised areas known as cuts. Each die crack or cut is unique, making these coins one-of-a-kind examples of the minting process. They offer collectors a tangible connection to the production challenges faced by the mint in the early 1950s. Planchet errors add even more depth to the 1951 Wheat Penny story. Occasionally, pennies were struck on improperly prepared blanks, leading to unusual textures, variations in thickness, or weight differences. Coins with these anomalies are highly prized because they are rare and impossible to replicate. Holding a planchet error penny feels like holding a piece of history that escaped the ordinary path of circulation. Condition is another key factor in determining the value of the 1951 Wheat Penny. While millions were circulated and experienced decades of wear, only a small fraction survived in exceptional condition. Coins with original luster, clean surfaces, and sharp detail are far rarer than most people realize. High-grade examples preserve the coin exactly as it appeared when it left the mint, which is why collectors go to great lengths to locate them. The emotional connection to this penny cannot be overstated. It is not just a coin, it is a piece of everyday life from a bygone era. It may have passed through the hands of schoolchildren saving allowance, merchants counting daily earnings, or families tucking pennies away for future needs. Every 1951 Wheat Penny carries these untold stories, giving collectors a sense of connection to a past that is tangible, yet quietly profound. For coin enthusiasts, part of the excitement comes from the hunt. Many 1951 Wheat Pennies are still waiting to be discovered in old collections, inherited boxes, or forgotten jars. The possibility of finding a rare variety, error, or high-grade specimen keeps collectors engaged and passionate. Each search feels like a journey into history, where a single penny can reveal centuries of craftsmanship, artistry, and human experience. The 1951 Wheat Penny represents the perfect combination of artistry, history, rarity, and collector excitement. It reminds us that even the smallest coins can carry immense stories, and that history often hides in the most ordinary places. Paying close attention to details, learning to spot errors, and appreciating condition allows collectors to see beyond the face value and into the hidden world of numismatics. In today's real market and auction history, the most exceptional and rare examples of the 1951 Lincoln 1-cent Wheat Penny have achieved values of $500,000. If you have wheat pennies or believe you may own something special, comment about your own coins so the channel can provide information about them. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and like the video so we can continue sharing fascinating, detailed, and powerful stories hidden inside America's most unforgettable coins.